Hello, friends, and welcome to Adventures in Pixieland. My name's Amy. I'm an ordained minister, and we're in Bible study. We are in the NIV, and we are in Deuteronomy, chapter 14. Deuteronomy is part of the Torah, and it is a relisting of things based upon what they could remember since documents were lost, which, again, we have covered later on in the Old Testament, so we just got to keep going. Clean and unclean food. You are the children of the Lord your God. Do not cut yourselves or shave the front of your head for the dead. Okay? For you are people holy to the Lord your God. Out of all the people on the face of the earth, the Lord has chosen you to be his treasured possession. Do not eat any detestable thing. These are the animals you may eat: the ox, the sheep, the goat, the deer, the gazelle, the roe deer, the wild goat, the ibex, I-B-E-X, I'm not sure what that is, the antelope, and the mountain sheep. Precise identification of some of the birds and animals in this chapter is uncertain. Okay. You may eat any animal that has a split hoof divided in two and that chews the cud. However, of those that chew the cud, or that have a split hoof completely divided, you may not eat the camel. It's okay. There's our first exception. The rabbit or the coney, which I know people in Europe are like, what? Because, they eat that. And then C, coney, that is not like a coney. Like, okay, so also rabbits are coney, so they're like, well, you can eat the rabbit. You can't eat the rabbit or the coney. Those, no, not in this area. Okay, that is a hyrax, Hyrax. It's a rock badger. So you can't eat a rabbit or a badger. Although they chew the cud, they do not have a split hoof. They are ceremonially unclean for you. The pig is also unclean. Although it has a split hoof, it does not chew the cud. You are not to eat their meat or touch their carcasses. I know that's very hard for a lot of people because, well, bacon primarily seems to be the problem. Really. That seems to be the main heartache is bacon. And I get it. Of all the creatures living in the water, you may eat any that has fins and scales, but anything that does not have fins and scales you may not eat, for you it is unclean. So that would mean no shellfish, because that's not fins and scales. So you understand. Okay. You may not eat, and you may eat any clean bird, but these you may not eat: the eagle, the vulture, the black vulture. I don't know what I'm going to guess they mean crows or ravens, since crows or ravens do eat the dead the way vultures eat the dead. Would be my guess. The red kite, K-I-T-E, the black kite, any kind of falcon, any kind of raven, it's okay. The horned owl, the screech owl, the gull, any kind of hawk, the little owl, the great owl, the white owl, the desert owl, the osprey, the cormorant, the stork, any kind of heron, the hoopoe, H-O-O-P-O-E, and the bat. Okay. All of those birds eat some form of meat, whether it's fish meat or it's, catching tiny mammals, or, whatever it might be that they might want to eat. Because, for some of them it might be snakes or lizards. I guess it depends on the bird. But don't eat things that eat meat. Yeah. Yeah, we actually don't generally do that. It's not really our nature. All the flying insects that swarm are unclean to you. Do not eat them. But any winged creature that is clean, you may eat. So swarms, like swarms of flies, swarms of mosquitoes. I guess even swarms of bees. I've never heard of anybody eating a bee, but like that. Do not eat anything you find already dead. It's okay. You may give it to an alien living in one of your towns, and he may eat it. Or you may sell it to a foreigner, which you are holy people to the Lord your God. And do not cook a young goat in its mother's milk. I always found that tremendous. Like, you don't have to be rude, because this really basically would be rude, because it's like that's the milk that's intended for it to drink, and then you're cooking it in what was meant to be his food. So don't be rude. Tithes. Verse 22. Be sure to set aside 1/10 of all your field's produce each year. Eat the tithe of your grain, new wine, and oil, but the firstborn of your herds, flocks, and flocks in the presence of the Lord your God at the place he will choose for the dwelling in it for his name, so that you may learn to revere the Lord your God always. But if that place is too distant, and you have been blessed by the Lord your God and cannot carry your tithe because of the place where the Lord will choose to put his name is so far away, then exchange your tithe for silver. Take the silver with you and go to the place the Lord your God will choose. Use the silver to buy whatever you like, cattle, sheep, wine, another fermented drink, or anything you wish. Then you and your household shall eat there in the presence of the Lord your God and rejoice. And do not neglect the Levites living in your towns, for they have no allotment or inheritance for their own. At the end of every 3 years, bring the tithes of that year's produce and store it in your towns, so that the Levites, who have no allotment or inheritance of their own, and the aliens, the fatherless, and the widows who live in your town may come and eat and be satisfied, so that the Lord your God may bless you and all the work of your hands. So I'm going to make this very, very clear here. This is a tax ordered by God to feed poor and unfortunate people. Kind of like how we have food stamps. Okay? Including here the aliens. So the people not Jewish or not Israelite at this point. Not from their country, the foreigners. Hospitality to foreigners is very big in the eyes of the Lord. So you should keep that in mind as we go about and conduct ourselves today. Until the next video, friends.